What is death and what happens after death?
Something in man survives after death. Death is nothing but the snapping of the body from the rest of you. For the dying man, there's no death. The onlooker sees death there, not the dying man. He is continuing. He knows it very well. Death doesn't exist at all. There's only life and life and life across different dimensions.
What's karma?
They decide where you land up in the next birth. God helps us to move in the right direction.
Are we living in an illusion?
When you awaken to reality, you are dead sure you had been living in an illusion.
I wanted to talk about death. The truth about death, what death truly is. I mean, we talked about happiness, but at least in our current state where the world is, everybody is running, right? As you said, happiness is the expression of your inner being. I totally agree with that. But what people don't exactly understand is they think happiness, it's sense pleasures, right? Mm-hmm. They think, oh, by going to this party, by getting this much amount of fame, this much amount of money, we're going to get fame. And the reason behind that is even a little bit deeper, is because the second you are born, you know that you're going to die. We all know this within ourselves, that eventually we're going to die. But we don't understand the ultimate purpose. Mm-hmm. And we are scared of death. In fact, in the US, especially in the Western countries, in India, it's totally different. They show death as it truly is, the way when somebody passes away, the rituals and everything. But in US, they hide it as much as possible. They don't want the world to know what's coming. Whether it's through old homes or everything, death is not truly shown with full transparency. Now, I wanted to ask you, according to you, what is death and what happens after death?
Yeah, that's the most important existential question. So we have a whole Upanishad dedicated to this, Mm-hmm. It's called Kathopanishad. The third most important question of Nachiketa to Yama, the Lord of Death, was this, that some people say something in man survives after death, and some people say nothing survives. Tell me the truth about this, he asks. So, see, death is nothing but the snapping of the body from the rest of you.
Yes.
The pranamaya kosh, which is your vital energy, is snapped away from, it puts the body aside and it withdraws into the mind. And the mind, the causal body, the Atman, the rest of you continue. So you have to use the Panchakosha paradigm to exactly understand what death is. In Vedanta, we have this Panchakosha model of human personality, which means the human personality is not just body and mind in a general way. It is the Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, Vijnanamaya Kosh, and Anandamaya Kosh. All five put together, and the Atman is shining behind this. So these are like sheets covering the Atman, as it were. So the Annamaya, death is only the separation of the Annamaya Kosh due to the withdrawal of the Pranamaya Kosh from the rest of you. So you see, that's why for the dying man, there's no death. The onlooker sees death there, not the dying man. He is continuing. He knows it very well. In fact, I don't know if you've heard of near-death experiences.
I had one myself.
Yes.
It was the reason I got into spirituality.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a direct insight into our real nature, near-death experiences. So there, Nisargadatta Maharaj used to say this, as you witness the everyday happenings of your waking state, you will be witnessing your death. You always persist. The body falls off because prana is removed from the body. So we are changing only the crust of our, personality, you can say. The outermost crust, the body, Annamaya Kosh. You're changing that. The rest of us, the rest of I, what constitutes me, continues. But if there is real illumination while you are in the body, then, death is a farce. It doesn't exist at all. There's only life and life and life across different dimensions. So death is not that big an event actually, but realization is the real big event in the life, in any life. Yeah.
No, I definitely relate to you. I'm so happy you brought up near-death experiences. This is a topic that even recently has been going viral everywhere, especially in the US, and there's so many people researching and talking about near-death experiences of kids, of adults. I personally, I would love to share this. Possibly some viewers can relate to it too. You know, I had a near-death experience around 2 years ago. I was working on a script with my friend at my house in New Jersey, and I suddenly was having trouble breathing. And first 2 minutes, I was in total denial. I was like, come on, let's tape it. Let's do another take. Let's do another take. In that rat race, completely just, my head was like completely there that I just have to get this done with. And then at one point, my lungs were getting suffocated. And my face was like almost purple. I was like completely lost to it. At one point, I was like, bro, I just can't breathe. I ran down the stairs. I told my friend to call the ambulance, but the ambulance didn't come on time. It came too late. I opened my front door of the house. I went towards the stairs and it completely collapsed. Now, I don't know how this happened or what happened, but at that moment and I was declared dead at that point, the ambulance came a few minutes late. They told me that it was a miracle that they were able to bring me back. At that moment, I can't even call it that I gained a certain amount of knowledge or realization, but to me, it was realization. When I woke up 15 minutes later in the hospital, at that moment, I realized that I am not this body. I realized that I'm one with the universe. I don't know how it happened, but all my memories just flashed before my eyes. I saw this white light and I was relieved. You know, most people say that, oh, death is a horrible experience. And I'm not saying that, oh, death is great, but at that moment, right before I completely had no oxygen in my system, I felt a sense of relief. And I realized who I truly am in a sense, and how we are all just a universal consciousness. I'm just one with everything, and everything is one with me. I woke up
blessed, and
I think a week or two after that, I told my mom a little bit about it. She didn't even want to hear it. You know how mothers are. She made my sister talk to me about it. And then my mom told my sister, Aryan, can you please go to Swami Sarada Math in New York? Start going to his lectures. I said, Mom, no, it's fine. I have another shoot in a week. I have to color my hair blonde. I have to play this negative role. I did that. I went to Swami Sarada Math, and we were speaking this a little bit before. I met him, tears in my eyes. He hugged me. We talked about it. He said, just keep coming to lectures weekly, and you'll be able to balance your career as well as your true purpose in life. It completely changed my life. You know,
wonderful.
Yeah. You
are blessed when you are under a luminous soul, like this, an awakened soul. So I think you're incredibly lucky that at that point you could.
I really feel blessed. And then after that point, all my complete purpose in life changed. You know, like I started off dancing and singing and acting in musical shows and musical theaters. And I was like, oh, you know, I'm just going to entertain the world. That was my purpose. I was like, I want to make people happy. I want to make people laugh. Then after this event happened, I said, you know, I want people to realize at least this 1% of what I realized, and hopefully I want to lead them to Advaita Vedanta. I want to lead them to this ultimate truth. And then I realized that maybe I can use whatever skill, which isn't even my skill, my throat, whatever it is, my singing, my writing, my composing, to spread that message. I started writing music. I have a new original that is unreleased right now called Avaragi, which is a spiritual song, a kind of a Sufi song. It's about my spiritual journey. It's about self-realization. It's about finding the truth within yourself, happiness, the expression of your inner being, just like you beautifully said. And that's where I am now.
Yeah, near-death experiences are very powerful spiritual experiences. Most people, I don't know if you've heard of Anita Moorjani's case. You must see it on YouTube.
I might have watched it, but I don't remember the name.
They can change the person completely. Near-death experiences.
Yeah. Definitely did for me. I know I asked this before, just for people that are watching, you know, a lot of our viewers, they might, you know, not believe in like the cycle, the karmic cycle, but what happens after death if you have not been able to become self-realized, if you have not reached that point of enlightenment in this lifetime? What happens after death? What's karma?
Yeah. The two most important factors that actually go with us are our karma phal, the fruit of our actions, and our sanskars. Because you're carrying your mind with you. the Sukshma Sharir, Manomay Kosh, Vijnanamay Kosh, and Anandmay Kosh, the causal body and the mind, they all go with you. So the sanskars, the deep-rooted impressions which we have made in the course of our life on earth, they go with us. And they decide, you see, the kind of resonance you will have, so where you land up in the next birth.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a law of resonance, I would say.
Law of resonance.
Your vibration should match with where you will land. You will. So actually, the Sukshma Sharira, the mind travels.
Okay.
If there is no awakening into full consciousness here on earth, then definitely the mind and the subtle body and the causal body, they are going to travel according to their karma and their sanskars.
Okay,
and they will go there where they can further grow and evolve. According what matches their own vibration, they end up there.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's the bodies are supposed to travel like that. But the essential thing which we have to take care of is keep our karmas, that is like very positive, good, clean, and our sanskars. People are not paying attention to this part of our psychology at all. The impressions which we create in our mind, they are going to go with us.
Yeah.
Yes. So take care that if you have like very good impressions and holy stuff in your head, definitely there will be such a deep change of in your consciousness. Definitely.
Yeah.
And then you carry very positive stuff with you. So this level of evolution is important in life. Otherwise, even many people at the point of death appear very bewildered. For the simple reason, they have never paid conscious attention to their actions and sanskars.
Yeah, true.
So that then you are really in the hands of fate, you can say.
I'm so happy you mentioned fate. I wanted to talk about free will. What is free will? Do we have it? Is it all predestined? If you can just talk a little bit about that.
You must believe you have free will.
Okay.
But you must know this in the background of your mind. Just know this, that a lot of things have to work for any action to happen. Okay. For anything to happen in life. So this determinism is a fact, no doubt. But don't discount on free will. We have been given a certain amount of freedom. If you exercise it in the right direction, the tether is increased, But completely free will, ability to do what you want to do completely, that comes only when you awaken to full consciousness. Vivekananda used to say this, that only the free have free will. He would say free will is a misnomer because will is bound by causation. Yes. But you must sort of believe that I can move in the right direction and keep exercising your will in the right direction practically. Okay. At some point you realize that no, my will is bound, but if I keep exercising it in the right direction, a higher force gives me a greater tether to move along those lines.
Wow.
Yeah, Sri Ramakrishna used to give this example. You see a cow tied to a post. But if it's munching on grass just there, but if it expresses to its owner that it wants more grass, he is going to increase that rope. Give it more space.
Yeah.
So like that, we can move towards a completely free will. As our inner transformation happens, our spiritual life grows, you move towards a completely free will. Okay. Keep exercising your will in the right direction. And at some point you will understand, although it is bound, my will, if I keep exercising it, there's a greater power which helps us.
Wow.
God helps us to move in the right direction. So that way you go ahead.
Beautifully said. We were talking about death. I wanted to talk about a subject that's been, scientifically speaking, very in the moment, just like popular around the world, not only in the Western world, cryonics. The reason I want to bring this up is just because, people are interested about death. But I feel like, just like you said, before one goes and wants to learn about Vedanta, they should be able to grasp it, calm your mind. And before some of these some of these aspects of reality, whether that's death or meditation, gets clarified to the audience, to the viewers, they won't be able to fully grasp the teachings of Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. So if you can shed light on the reality of death, and especially in connection to cryonics, which basically states that you are able to freeze your body, and thousands of years later, you can unfreeze it in the hope that whatever illness you had before, you can cure it at that point. I wanted to ask you, specifically speaking, do you think that's even possible? Does the person who wakes up thousands of years, if they're able to freeze and unfreeze and resurrect someone, will that be the same person? Third of all, if it is possible, is it even ethical?
See, the point is, even the Egyptians thought that the body can be mummified and preserved. It's not a new idea. And we are trying to freeze the body today. Cryonics is such a, I would say, everyone wants to do it, I think, in the US.
It's like, there actually are labs there. I've seen documentaries about it. People are there. A lot of the wealthy people, at least, have already started it. They've already started it. Yeah.
So the very idea of freezing the body and reviving it later comes from the thought, the body is the self. I am the body.
Exactly. Yes.
I'm only the body, because that's how they have lived.
Yeah.
Now you really have to inquire deeply into this question, who am I? For us to be able to understand the whole thing. See, if you are only preserving the body and you have sort of numbed it through that particular process, cryonics, how can you imagine the brain sensitive organs of your body are going to jump back into life 1,000 years from now? How can you even imagine that? How can it happen? Just think and see. That's just matter. You're freezing matter. There's something that animates you from within.
That true essence, who you truly are. You're not freezing that.
At least you must come to the concept of vital energy, if not to awareness. At least vitality is required for a body to function as it does. And most of all, awareness, the source of everything, is awareness.
Awareness. Yeah.
And if that is not there, how are you going to jump back into life? So if we don't have conceptual clarity regarding our own personality structure, who am I? Then I will try to use all these kinds of means. The Egyptians had similar ideas, they were trying to preserve the body because they thought that it will come back to life.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the same trend continuing, I would say.
It is the same trend. I mean, it's not, and like, even though the scientific experience has started now, I mean, I think it was in the early 2000s, there was a Tom Cruise movie, Vanilla Sky, where it kind of said that everything is an illusion. It was kind of hinted at Vedanta a little bit, but obviously it was a fictional movie, and it showed Tom Cruise being frozen and living in a dream the whole time, and they said that you will unfreeze your body whenever you want to wake up from your dream. Now that I touched that topic, I didn't want to ask about Maya, right? Are we living in an illusion?
When you awaken to reality, you are dead sure you had been living in an illusion.
Yeah.
See, let me tell you this. We are studying these 3 states, waking, dream, and deep sleep, in Mandukya Upanishad, all that. From the standpoint of the Jnani, only the state of realization is the waking state. The rest are all dreams.
Yeah.
All Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti is only dream state.
Yeah.
All different durations of dreaming, that's all.
Okay.
Which means we are under Maya. We don't realize it. See, when you are deeply into something, you may not realize it.
Yeah.
What is fundamentally this Maya is, it is like a veil thrown over our buddhi, over our intelligence, which makes us feel identity in the body and mind, with the body and mind, is all of me. This is who I am. Even Vedantic inquiry, some people are not able to make it. Why is? Because you're convinced that my personality means only this much. So this is it's a cognitive error, according to Sankara, of the mind. And there's a mechanism by which Maya works. It's called adhyas, superimposition. I'm so dead sure of being a persona, that I don't inquire about the self. This is Maya. This is Maya. It's a huge trap. It's actually an illusion we are living in.
Yeah, that's what.
It's like sleepwalking.
Yeah, I mean, even the new Matrix came out. The first Matrix basically kind of hinted this a little bit, and they took a lot from Vedanta and put it in the movie. So now that we talked about that this is an illusion, at least for the viewers that are actually very invested in this part of spirituality and the ultimate truth that this is Maya, how would you say, in a way that people could understand, the viewers, that we get out of this Maya?
See, in a very clear state of mind, you just ask the fundamental existential questions of life. You will get out of Maya.
Okay.
I tried this out on my students who were not trained in Vedanta in any way, okay? I'll give you this experiment. I tried it twice and both times it worked. I asked them, see, a class of students who are not exposed to Vedanta and all this, I asked them, what feels like the most fundamental thing in your experience? Is it your thought? Is it your thoughts or memories? Is it your emotions? Is it your will? Or is it your awareness?
Okay, yes.
They thought for about a minute and they said awareness. And then I said, not thought? They said, no, it's awareness. How did they come to it?
How?
See, Vedanta is inbuilt. That's why I'm telling you. You just have to observe your existential experience closely. Analysis of existential experience is Vedanta. It's not in books. It's not in videos. It's right in me. I have to be able to penetrate to that point where I will see the nature of the pure I sense in me. That's all we have to do. It's the simplest thing I'm telling you, Aryan. Once you hit Vedanta, nothing else will be as appealing because it's the simplest, most obvious thing. Only for students and people who are very restless, we give methods of meditation, yoga and all this. But Vedanta is the most obvious inquiry you can make.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You pin down that I am sense within you, you will come to Vedanta. Ask who am I or what is the substratum of the mind. Something like this you ask, you will come to Vedanta. Try to find the real nature of this thing spread out before us, this universe, you'll come to Vedanta. Anything you do, you'll come to Vedanta.
No, I definitely relate with you and I agree with you. But I do feel like, and at least a lot of the viewers that are heavily into spirituality and are in that point that you're talking about, at the same time, when you do, and I experienced this personally a little bit as well, and I'm sure I talked to a lot of other people that are connected to Vedanta, when you first get into spirituality, maybe it's because you don't have the best foundation, as you said, or not. At one point, there is a sense of dispassion. There's a phase of dispassion where you question, what are you doing with your life? If we are Brahman, if we are that universal consciousness, we are constantly living aspects of the jiva. Every single day, we're eating, we're fulfilling our sense pleasure. That's not stopping. We are unable to control our desires, whether that's having the best of the best food or having a great family, a big house, money, fame, all this. So I understand that you're saying it's obvious, but for the people that are really just struggling in that phase where they don't know how to fully surrender to the truth that you said, which is not an external, it's the internal, what would you say to them?
I would say that's why you see the religions have been very wise. All these philosophical systems have been very wise in first giving you something you can do. They always told you, you follow the path of yoga, you bring in all these preconditions which are required to be satisfied to come to this level of existential inquiry, which means train your mind, train your different faculties, calm down the mind, sharpen your thought process, bring in some amount of bhakti and karma yoga and all this, clear up the whole stage to make this inquiry possible. If you can do that, that's why I told you we use these 4 yogas, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, raja yoga, jnana yoga, as means towards Vedanta. At least I have used it like that in my life.
Definitely.
And then when you make the inquiry, when you are in a very mature state of mind, balanced, very calm state of mind, very pure, you have intense clarity within yourself. The mind can be bubbling with awareness. In that state, you do the existential inquiry. Just ask a question like, Is my body in my awareness or is awareness in my body? At once, your own mind will give you the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
You crash into the truth.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
First, the training is important. You see, all these systems, even Vedanta itself, it asks you for Vivek, Vairagya. You remember the fourfold sadhan chatushtaya, it's called. Vivek, Vairagya, Shatsampati and Mumukshutvam to come to the realization of Vedanta. It demands this.
True.
Vairagya. A certain distance from the sense object because it's powerfully affecting you still. So, a little bit of these disciplines are required. Then you do the existential inquiry. You won't even need a meditation process. You'll come straight to it.
No, I definitely agree.
I can't describe to you the beauty of the pure life. This is something which our young people should catch.
They should.
That clarity, intense clarity of mind, luminosity of thoughts, and your emotions are always sweet. Your vital energies are beaming. Your entire face, your very senses are shining. And you're deeply calm within yourself with a controlled thought process. All this comes naturally with the pure life, the sattvic life. Definitely. If you have this, that's the base, the foundation for Vedanta. You have this, naturally you will go into that.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Mataji, for this enlightening conversation. I truly hope the viewers that are watching this video right now take even 1% from this. It will truly bring them closer to the ultimate truth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.